Let me introduce your speaker and the one doing the coach demo today, Jean-Francois Cousin. Jean-Francois is one of the highest rated summit speakers. He's a master certified coach and is recognized for empowering and inspiration and practical tips he offers during his sessions. He's a global executive and team coach. Jean-Francois has served over 1,700 leaders and dozens of executive teams, visiting 40 countries on 6 continents to partner with them. He passionately helps the coaching profession to grow and contribute even more to the well-being of humanity, and he served as chairman of the ICF Global Board in 2019. Jean-Francois also mentors coaches seeking to enrich their mastery in artistry. Now, for a fun fact this time, Jean-Francois recently spent a bit of time with the gorillas in the impenetrable jungles at the border between Uganda and Rwanda. And those majestic peace-seeking animals enhanced further his commitment to advocate that we all become far gentler to Mother Nature, to whom we owe everything. So Jean-Francois, with that, I'll turn the room over to you.
Thank you very much, David. Always a pleasure to partner with you for so many years already, right? And thank you to all of you for joining from all continents across almost all time zones today. I must say I'm as intimidated as I am grateful to you. Our theme today is quite ambitious, really. As David said, it's coach like Einstein would and enable quantum leaps. I just, as I was chatting with David, got some sense of security here because David is a distant cousin of Albert Einstein. I hope you are you okay with me sharing this, David? It's such a beautiful thing from your family. And as the topic is quite ambitious, I thought we should really all together relax and smile and get nicely in the right groove. And I found just the right moment in a movie for this. And it's a spot-on metaphor for our theme. Enjoy it.
Art form is only really a great form by virtue of its limitations. It's like painting in 2 dimensions. And it's the same thing in the silent films, you see.
When Albert Einstein and Charlie Chaplin met, Albert Einstein energetically complimented Charlie Chaplin on his art. He said, "What I admire most about your art is its universality. You do not say a word, and yet the world understands you." To which Charlie Chaplin wittily responded, "Oh, it's true, but your fame is even greater. The world admires you when nobody understands you." 20 years after Albert Einstein passed away, research established that words convey only 7% of what we express. And yet in many coaching schools, we mostly learn to coach with the client's words. We learn only very superficially about partnering with the client's voice and body language. It is energy that moves the body and sustains the voice. And energy is Albert Einstein's pet topic and wheelhouse. You know very well, he said everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. So coaching school students, I think, miss a lot about the power and the wealth of what happens when we partner with our client's energy and the emotions, which are manifesting a part of the client's energy. And so today I wish to assess with you what unfolds when we partner with our client's energy and their emotions without working with their words at all, along a full coaching demo. And then together we shall find out how such focus on the energy and the emotions can help the client's desired transformation happen. Yeah. So in the experimental coaching demo I will offer, I will mobilize additional wisdom from Albert Einstein, and particularly what he said. You remember, I believe in intuitions and imagination. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am, which leads him to add, logic will take you from A to B, imagination will take you everywhere. He also said, if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it well enough. And finally, back to everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics, right? And after the coaching demo, I'll debrief it with you and with Marisa, my coachee today, whom I'll introduce very shortly. After the coaching demo, we'll discuss together how we need to be energetically with our clients for them to do their most transformational work, and also how to coach in a way that elicit the whole body of the client, the whole inner knowledge of the client. And finally, how to enable the clients to kind of simplify their thinking and to ensure that they trigger real progress in their reality. Now, I'm very grateful to Marisa Simao Lago de Carvalho today. She's joining us from Portugal. Marisa, thank you for having accepted to be my coachee today and for this very experimental session, right? Where you will speak in Portuguese and I will coach you in English, and I do not understand a word of your very beautiful language. So I will attempt to coach you solely on your energy and your emotions. Marisa became an entrepreneur 10 years ago after she decided to leave the corporate world, where she had a challenging and painful and amazing and successful career as a finance leader in the oil and gas and in the consulting industries. Marisa has worked and led teams with members from more than 10 nationalities. She has traveled around the world, visited more than 30 countries, and lived in 3 in Africa and in Europe. Marisa has founded her company, which is called Mind Bridges, and she works and coaches worldwide, and her daily life and workplace are always full of diversity, which makes her heart sing. Marisa is now based in beautiful Estoril, Portugal. Marisa, thank you so very much again. Just before we get started, I'd like to say that this demo is an experiment. It's absolutely not a suggestion for anyone to do that with your clients, right? Because I will not use the words of Marisa since I will not understand them. But of course, clients' words are very important. Here, what I want to check with you is what happens when we magnify the coaching work with the energy and the emotion of the client and where it takes us. Right? Now, I have a suggestion, an invitation for you who are going to be there with Marisa and me, right? To make that experiment more intimate for you. I invite you to write down what messages Marisa's energy sends to you, right? What are the messages that you receive from Marisa's energy and emotions? And then try to sense what transformation is happening. And after we've concluded our demo, of course, we will invite Marisa, who speaks fluent English, to tell us what transformation happened. Okay, so let's enjoy this moment. Marisa, thank you so very much again for being with us today. What a joy, what an honor as well. Marisa, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just saying thank you so much for the invitation, Jean-Francois. I really love disruption and innovative things. So I'm very curious about what is the experiment is gonna look like. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here as well. So I'm very open to whatever you're gonna ask me, and I will of course speak in my mother tongue, which is Portuguese.
Great. Thanks a lot, Marisa. I just want to say, Marisa, in case the conversation would take you to traumatic moments in your past, then of course I will have no idea that's where you are, right, Marisa? So I would then invite you, because I'm not qualified to help you if you're there, right, in your traumatic past, I would invite you to take a few deep breaths, right, and refocus yourself on the present. I will not be able to help you do that. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I will.
And then from this moment onward, if it's okay, Marisa, I invite you to speak beautiful Portuguese. Yeah?
Ok. Então vou falar aqui um tema que me traz, que é para mim muito importante, porque tem a ver com a forma como nós nos relacionamos e relaciono eu com os outros. Eu sou uma pessoa da área financeira e sempre os números para mim é que faziam sentido e depois percebi que as pessoas é que realmente são importantes. E há pessoas que me fazem comichão, fazem-me comichão. E eu gostava de explorar isso aqui hoje. Tenho trabalhado muito em autoconhecimento, entendo coisas e tento compreender, mas há coisas que sinto e não sei o que, e porquê que sinto. E, portanto, se houvesse aqui alguma transformação, eu gostava de trabalhar sobre isso.
Thank you very much for sharing, Marisa. And I had the sense that it was your left brain mostly telling me what you shared. And can I invite you to take a few deep breaths and then add up what perhaps your heart and or your guts would like to add to what you already offered.
É encontrar a paz e algo que me tranquilize e que me faça simplesmente estar quando há pessoas que mexem comigo. E a palavra que me surge é abraçar-me. Acho que é isso, acho que é estar e abraçar-me também e estar tranquila. porque na realidade estas pessoas existem e elas vão continuar na minha vida e eu tenho que conseguir lidar com isso. É um processo, e é um processo que eu já fiz várias tentativas de várias formas, e eu preciso de continuar o meu caminho de forma a que eu veja outra coisa que eu ainda não vi.
Thanks very much, Marisa. May I share my perception of your energy? Yeah, and it may be totally wrong, but perhaps it's helpful. My perception is the energy I am getting, right, is the energy of a struggle. A struggle, yeah, like if your movements are constrained. Now, perhaps it makes no sense at all. Just wanted to offer this to your consideration.
It is. É mesmo um dilema. E é um dilema entre não me querer magoar e racionalizo, mas há aqui qualquer coisa que eu tenho que transformar que me ajude a desbloquear este dilema. É que na realidade isso que tem que acontecer é quase como uma transformação e que me ajuda a andar para a frente. É quase como que é quase como que eu sei a receita, mas depois não ponho em prática, ou há sempre momentos que desencarrilo e eu tenho que alinhar. É só estar alinhada. E quando estou alinhada, é o que é. É o que é. Portanto, na realidade, é como é que eu me alinho. Como é que eu posso me alinhar? Se calhar é isso mesmo. É como é que rapidamente eu me alinho. Eu vejo, eu sinto e eu alinho. É só isto. Mas ao mesmo tempo quer ser natural, quer ser eu mesma, não é?
You said three things, Marisa, and then you added one sentence and you spread your arms. It sounded to me like something clicked, some perhaps clarity came out. Now, if that is correct, what would that be about?
É ter a certeza que aquilo que eu racionalizo é o que é, e há qualquer coisa aqui que não é racionalizar. Há aqui qualquer coisa que é. Que é. Que é música, na realidade. É quase como que dançar à música. Há um processo de transformação que é diferente. Nunca tinha pensado nisto. Ahm, é, ou seja, na realidade, em vez de. ah, não há nada para transformar. Não há nada para transformar, é simplesmente dançar. E é engraçado porque ao ver a energia, e a energia. Na realidade é. Ah, é a energia coletiva. Ou seja, eu consigo sentir e ver sentir a minha energia, consigo ver a energia do outro e depois como é que elas as duas dançam em conjunto. Este aqui é que eu tenho que ser curiosa para continuar aqui a perceber como é que eu vou conseguir dançar quando a energia é coletiva. É a energia coletiva. É a energia coletiva. A energia coletiva que eu ainda não tinha pensado nisto. Na realidade, é como é que eu consigo dançar, ou a que ritmo é que eu consigo dançar, consoante a energia coletiva.
Thanks for sharing, Marisa. And I feel there is so much more to express, right? But I just want to share with you, if it's okay, that that metaphor that the ship has left the harbor, right? You are in a very different energetic place now, right? Like some liberation has happened. And yeah, that much, yeah.
Yeah.
All of what you've said, right? Marisa, we come to that moment where I invite you to choose a very valuable objective for our session today. Marisa, so with all of what your mind, your heart, your guts have expressed so far, what could be a very, very valuable objective for our conversation today?
É claro, é como é que eu danço. Aliás, não danço. É como é que eu navego a energia coletiva. Como é que eu navego a energia coletiva? É exatamente isso. É que dançar, conforme estiver a energia coletiva, vai-me pôr para baixo, vai-me pôr para cima. Se eu navegar, é diferente. Portanto, na realidade, o objetivo é muito claro. Como é que eu navego a energia coletiva?
Thanks very much, Marisa. Could I invite you to take a very, very deep breath and then tell me the objective in a very, very short sentence?
A navegadora da energia.
Yeah.
Ou a capitã da energia. Engraçado. A capitã da energia.
Okay. Yeah. Now you are already on the move. What can be the first step we take together in this exploration?
A primeira é simplesmente eu preparar-me. E preparar-me significa proteger a minha própria energia, ver a energia coletiva. Engraçado, surgiu aqui outro P. E na realidade posicionar-me. Posicionar-me. Onde é que eu me quero posicionar naquela energia? Aquela energia é para eu estar ali, aquela energia é para eu sair, aquela energia é para eu liderar, aquela energia é para eu transformar. É.
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
É.
Marisa. Can I invite you now, if you don't mind, to stand up and take a couple of steps and bring out more thinking from your whole body, you know, the guts, the heart, the whole of you, right? More to this exploration towards the objective. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you can see me, but I will.
I can. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Yeah. What's coming up?
Ok.
What more coming up?
Que é a energia coletiva que eu preciso e que a energia coletiva é uma boa fonte para mim. E a energia coletiva é ter uma audiência. E há uma audiência que me ouça, e portanto é quase como que eu escolher a energia. É como que eu escolher a energia e gerir a energia. Yeah, yeah. I can do this. É quase como que foi em inglês, peço desculpa, mas o que é que a energia coletiva vai me trazer de bom? Vai me trazer esta possibilidade de uma coisa que eu queria fazer e estou aqui a fazer e quero fazer, que é criar disrupção, fazer coisas novas, inovadoras. Qual é a energia com quem as pessoas que eu tenho que estar? E tenho que andar também. Então tenho que navegar. Navegar é melhor. É quase como que surfar a onda. Surfar a onda da inovação. Nunca pensei nisto.
Yeah.
Muito bom.
Yeah. And Marisa, can I invite you to spin a bit, perhaps to see just if there is some more knowledge from
Não. Não é no spin, é navegar. Então é estar grounded. É saber qual é a minha âncora. I got it. Consegui. É saber qual é a minha âncora. Ou seja, eu tenho energia coletiva, eu saber qual é a minha âncora, ser eu mesma, e that's it. E é isso. I got it.
So where are you now, Marisa? Where are you now?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. It's such a good place that I don't want to. I think I'm good.
Yeah, great. And Marisa, can I invite you to project to me the energy you need to move forward with what you've discovered and decided in this session?
And you want me to do that in English or in Portuguese?
In Portuguese, right?
Ok. So I'll go back to my Portuguese. Então, o que é que eu vou fazer a seguir? Vou fazer aquilo que já está na minha lista há imenso tempo, que é entrar em contato com algumas das pessoas que já me tinham proporcionado a oportunidade de facto ter uma audiência e ter esta energia coletiva. E vou apostar nisso. Vou integrar uma coisa que eu aprendi por acaso hoje de manhã, que é a felicidade de poder perder coisas que não me fazem nada bem, e está bem, inclusive é pessoas, também está bem, e está tudo certo. E é uma ideia que eu hoje ouvi e que me despertou curiosidade. E eu vou continuar a explorar mais ainda como é que eu vou conseguir criar isso na minha rotina. Que eu já comecei, mas quero enraizar mais. Quero enraizar mais. E então o que eu descobri aqui da minha energia? Descobri que eu preciso de energia coletiva. Eu preciso de energia coletiva. Eu percebi, isso eu já sabia, mas é quase como claro como a água que a energia tem imensa informação que nos pode trazer. Depois é como é que nós vamos à âncora e como é que a gente faz a âncora daquilo que nos ajuda e aquilo que não nos ajuda. E é isso que eu também estou a aprender e a descobrir. Uma energia limpa. É uma energia limpa. É uma energia limpa. Energia limpa.
Yeah.
É uma energia mesmo limpa.
And so I have a sense that you are projecting yourself, right, in the path ahead, Marisa. And I would love to invite you as a kind of an exercise in the moment, right, to project to me the energy that you need, your body, your whole self need to move forward. So can you please project that energy to me?
Oh my God, I think that is a stand-up one. Então, a energia que eu preciso para continuar é uma energia que me ancora, é a energia do todo, é uma energia do universo. E é uma energia limpa. É uma energia limpa. Transparente.
Hey, thanks very much for putting words on it. And Marisa, can you now send it to me with no more words? Just send it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Didn't get it yet, Marisa. Can you send it again or send it stronger? And you may like to take a few deep breaths before you boom, project that energy, yeah? Oh, okay, I got it, Marisa, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I mean, I sense it. What I sense, Marisa, is like, wow, it's quite. It's an energy of liberation, of yeah, determination, no compromise, just freeing yourself from some things that I don't understand, right? And quite raw moving forward. And if that's not correct, Marisa, can you please send it to me again so I get it better?
Está correto. O que eu senti foi paz.
Oh, now it's very different, Marisa. Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Marisa. Can I invite you to send to send that final energy, the warmth that is going to be with you and project you ahead to the hundreds of us around the world now.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marisa. And is this a good place to wrap up our conversation,
It's a very beautiful, beautiful place. I don't want to leave. I just want to stay there.
So I want to thank you profoundly, Marisa, for involving yourself fully in this exploration, right? I'm so grateful, Marisa. And I want to thank everyone also. I can see there are hundreds and hundreds of comments from everyone in the chat box. And that was, I guess, in response to my invitation to share what sense everyone was receiving from your energetic transformation along this demo. Marisa, perhaps I can invite you to tell us about what really happened, and then I'll invite everyone also in turn to ask you any question they wish to ask you about the experience. So perhaps an invitation to everyone, right? Ask your questions to Marisa, and then to you, Marisa, perhaps to get the conversation going. What was the session about, and what transformation, if any, happened?
I just need to drink a little bit more water just to.
Absolutely, let's drink water.
Yeah. So yes, I was in a struggle, and the struggle is really the impact of certain people that I feel. And it's we all are humans, and we all have it, right? We sense people that it's just annoying or annoying us, or why I need to deal with this person, right? And I tried a few things in this particular situation before. And what happened today here was I was able. So I'm very conscious about my energy, and when I am with someone, that it's I feel the energy of the other person. And I understand that. The thing is that I wanted to work on my own energy. How can I protect me more, or how can I, help me more? Because sometimes it's really, impact me. So I don't want to be impacted. And I've been working on this for a while. Here, what happened today is that it just came out that, the final words for me were clean energy. And the transformation was actually collective energy. So I started in a point about, I feel the energy of others, my energy gets impacted, and it's annoying, and it impacts the way I perform, the way I relate with whatever situation, with the way I react. And it suddenly got emerged on the other person energy, and suddenly transformed in the collective energy, which was the wider, I don't know who was there, but it was more than two people energy. So it was this collective energy, and suddenly transform in clean energy. And when I got to the clean energy, I got it. Oh, so now you know what you need to do. And actually, I know, or at least I got a few insights what I'm gonna do. It was amazing, but I still have my hands are numb.
Yeah.
And I feel tired, physically tired, and I'm gonna stop because I don't know if people have questions or not, but I'm very open to whatever share, and I will keep it quiet for now if it's okay.
absolutely. And just so you can take your breath, I will answer Olivier's question. Considering Portuguese is quite near French, there are quite a few insights with words. I wonder if it would work the same with a totally different language like African or Mandarin language. Olivier, thanks for the question. Actually, it's quite a negative distraction in that type of exercise if I understand words, in fact, right? Because my little left brain then will tell me, hey, stop this, just try and make sense from those words, right? And then my presence to the whole body of the client is shrinking because my little left brain wants to save the show and work with words. And actually, Portuguese and French are perhaps close, but the only word I understood from Marisa was energia at the end, and all the other words I have absolutely no grasp at it. And thanks God, because otherwise it would have really been a little storm in me, right? Fighting to turn off the little brain, right? And turn on more the heart and the guts. And let's see, and David, perhaps if you see some questions that our friends in this conversation are asking to Marisa, that would be lovely that we honor the questions with the time we have, yeah?
Absolutely. So and Leo's pulling these for me separated by the ones for Marissa. So thank you. Brenda asked, Marissa, I know you were just saying your hands were still numb. They're at Marissa's, yeah, I'm sorry. Brenda's asking, how do you feel now at the end?
Me, Marisa,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
How about I feel yes, I still have a little bit of a numb, but I feel light, which is, I don't know, I just feel light. It's light and light, not only light in as a weight thing, but light. It's like light. I don't know. It's just light. That's the word it comes. I don't know if it helps, whatever. But I feel light. I just feel light.
Yeah.
All right. So Joanna's following that. What's the impact on you knowing Jean-Francois wasn't hearing or comprehending all the words?
To be honest, I was so present on what I wanted to explore that I was listening him. So I was listening Jean-Francois words, and I was feeling at the same time, like if what these words connect more of what it's not tangible here. I don't know. It was just, yeah. I was listening, of course, but it was just for me connecting what those words meant for me, you know.
Yeah, and to this, perhaps I can share something that is the absolute highlight of 2023 for me as a coach, right? In the end of June, I was invited in Cancun, Mexico, to do a master class at a coaching conference. And so there were many people in the room. And I wanted to do this experiment for the participants to the masterclass. And so I invited anybody in the room who wants to be the volunteer, right? And then there was this great lady on the first row who raised her hand, and then she was from Argentina, and she came, and so we did the session, right? And I could see it was working very well. She was transforming beautifully. And then so at the end of the conversation, I kind of motioned her to stand up so her and me can face the crowd, right? And have a conversation about the session. So she stood up, right? And we were there standing up, and then standing up in front of the audience. And then I turned to her and I said, okay, so just like I asked Marisa today, what was your experience of this session, right? And so she looked at me with blank eyes, like she was not understanding what I was asking. And it was a very simple question. And so I was surprised. And then one of her friends on the first row raised her hand and told me Isabella doesn't understand English. And I was like, oh my, unbelievable, right? Unbelievable, right? So she had no clue what my words were about, but Isabella was responding to the intention behind my question, right? And that worked beautifully. So that's the highlight of 2023 for me, right? It's like, well, a bit beyond words, right? And I wonder if there was a bit of that, Marisa, and sorry if what I just said influences your answer. That is not the intention, of course. But I'm curious.
You know what? I think that if we are so, I was so on my own exploration. That if I didn't understand what you were saying, is that the question would make a difference. Well, that is the experience that I never experienced, right? So I don't know what could look like, but to be honest, I think if we are really open to explore and to imagine that, like Charlie Chaplin, as you brought it here today, right? Imagine that you didn't speak and I wouldn't speak either. And whatever you did while you questioned me and whatever I did on my own exploration, we would just follow our, body language and movements. I think, actually, I'll be very curious to do that. And then try that one as well.
Like
let's do a move, yeah. Because I think it's possible, because I do actually, what I was working was in some relationship it's difficult for me, and I know and I feel that through energy, and actually suddenly we're two energies different, then bond in one energy, then it grows to another collective energy, which means more people evolved, and then suddenly cleans energy. So I do believe that would be a different experiment, but I think it will be actually very useful as well if we are really open to explore and to discover. This is better, because we transfer things to each other without seeing, without understanding, right?
Yeah.
So to be honest, I don't know, because I never tried to do this before, or with a person that I don't understand the language, or even if you're not speaking, just moving and body language. I think it's a different experiment, but I think it will be quite powerful as well, because as humans, we transfer things that we can't explain everything, right?
We can't.
Actually came one that is like accepting the unexplained, the things that you can't explain. And that's, for me, it's also an important one, because I always tend to try to understand everything I explain. Everything must have explanation.
Thanks, Marisa. One last question, and then I will share insights and tips for everyone. And with your permission, David, I will. I'm just seeing the question from Annette Montgomery, right, for Marisa. The invitation to physically shift your body through the process seemed to unlock further insights for you. How did the
absolutely,
in particular, affect your thinking process? How did standing up and twirling did the same?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very interesting, very, very good question, because actually you gave me one guidance, which was to twist. And I did twist, and then suddenly it was on the twist that he gave me the insight, because it's not about me twisting, it's about me navigating. So it was very interesting. So first I was dancing with the energy of the other person, which by the way is annoying, so it's still not transformed. And actually is when you invite me to stand up and you ask me to twist my whole body. It's when it came like, no, I don't need to dance with this person, right? I need to navigate, which is a different energy flow. So actually, it's a very good question. And yes, standing up and bring my body on it brought me a new insight.
Thank you, Annette, for the question. Thank you, Marisa, for the answer. And with this, if it's okay, I'm going to share insights and practical tips so everyone can take perhaps one or two home and experiment with them. Yeah. And they are going to apply to normal coaching sessions where we use the words, of course, in addition to the energy and the emotion. And Marisa, thank you very much. Please stay with us because there will be a second Q&A at the end. And it's great if you are there as well. Yeah? Okay?
Okay. See you in a minute.
David, for helping out. And let's go with what I had promised we'd come to, right? So three things I'd love to offer some insights and practical tips. The first one is how we need to be energetically with our clients for them to do their most transformative work. And the second is how to coach in a way that elicits the whole of our clients' inner knowledge. And the third is how to enable our clients to simplify their thinking and to ensure they trigger solid progress in reality, right? So the outcome of the session, which benefited from work on energy and emotions and words, anchors or lands some resolutions that will happen. And that's where what Einstein said earlier on, right? Match the frequency of the reality you want and you cannot help but make it happen, right? Which is why I asked Marisa to project her energy several times, 4 times actually, right? The last one was to you all. It was to anchor the power in Marisa to just project that energy she needs to move forward, to anchor real progress in her reality. Okay, let's talk about how we need to be energetically with our clients for them to do their most transformative work. And please ask your questions and share your insights, your suggestions, your knowledge as well in the chat box as we navigate. So the first thing I'd love to say to be at the optimal energy state when we are going to coach someone is that we must prepare ourselves to be warm, and I'll tell you more, and then calm, like a calm lake, and then authentic and vulnerable. Let me walk you through. Right, what do I mean by be warm? Actually, I mean be loving, be unconditionally loving. And perhaps those of you 6 years ago who attended my talk for WBEX at the time, right, now coaching.com, about 10 insights and 10 tips to coach at your best. Perhaps you remember my first insight from those first 10,000 hours of coaching was coaching is an act of unconditional love. I could make that smarter and say coaching is an intelligent, growth-driven act of unconditional love. But really, the core here is the love, right? And it's a love for the potential of the client, the love for the inner greatness. And with that, the client will feel valued, right? And when they feel that love for their potential, their inner greatness, they are most willing to let it go. And I told at that time that how I felt when I was seeing my clients on Zoom, MS Teams, or in my office or in their office was like a puppy, you know, that type of puppy. Yeah. So beyond excited because the master is coming, right? Total present, absolute attention. When the colleague here is no, the colleague is just into his head. Am I ready? Am I in the right place? Am I going to do good coaching? Will my no, that type of puppy, this one, right? That's the time of warmth and love that inhabits me, right? And it's really important that the first energy that the clients perceive from us, I believe, is that of love, right? Now, the second is stillness, right? After a little while, right? So we are, again, calm. And in that calm, in fact, then our clients can see themselves like we can see ourselves in the flat surface of the lake, right? They can see themselves, and very importantly, they can see the ripple effects of the development of their thinking, in fact, right? With no pollution, no way from us, right? So that's the second, right? And then the third is also an insight I had offered six years ago. Number three, it was be authentic and humble and vulnerable. Right? So very important because it gives permission, of course, to clients to also be authentic and humble and vulnerable. And I don't know how I look today, but most often when I do a public demo, some colleagues will say very kindly, wow, Jean-Francois is making those faces. They are polite, they don't say those ugly faces, but they are ugly faces. They are just like that, you know, they're terrible. Right? And so each time I ask the client, did my faces upset you or disturb you in any way? And every time the client says, what faces? No, I didn't see that, right? Of course, it's so secondary. And then we have to be authentic, humble, and vulnerable. Now, if I would want to look pretty, then I'd be in my head and less present to the client. That's not the job, right? So the thing is, be warm, loving, unconditionally. So the client feel valued, right? Still as a calm lake after a minute or two in the conversation, right? So then the client is calm and sees themselves clearly and the ripple effects of the development of their thoughts, right? And then authentic and vulnerable, so other clients can be authentic and vulnerable as well, right? So that would be the type of energy I'd recommend we bring into the session. And then, of course, we want that the client and our energy are both at the optimal state and compatible, right? And today, Marisa jumped in the session with passion, and I didn't have the chance to ask her what I normally ask my clients, which is there anything you need to do to clean your mind, cleanse your mind, and be fully present to the session, right? But then the energy of Marisa was there, and then everything was great, right? But when clients are perhaps in a energetic level that is not enabling them to be coachable because perhaps they have emotions that disturb them or fears, anxiety, stress, right? So it's important to offer them a chance to let go of those emotions, right? And if they have disturbing needs like, oh, wow, I must not forget to go and get my school out of school, get my son out of school, right? Then we can say, all right, would you like to write that down on a post-it so you don't forget it? And then you can push that concern aside, right? So cleans client's mind, right? And then also every time we invite clients to take deep breaths, of course, they calm down, and very importantly as well, they realign themselves and connect their three brains, right? The head, the heart, and the guts, which is very, very useful for coaching work. Yeah. Now, I'd also wanted to share with you a few thoughts and insights while inviting you to contribute yours as well in the Q&A, yeah? About how to coach in a way that elicits the whole of our clients' inner knowledge, right? And that will, of course, distinguish us coaches from AI coaches, right? For quite some time, I believe, because eliciting the whole of our clients' inner knowledge based on work with their energy, their emotions, body language, right? Tones of the voice is not yet very accessible to AI. Probably we would have to cover our clients with so many captors and sensors on their body that they would be totally stressed out and coaching could not happen. All right, so well, that service will not be at anybody's fingertip anytime soon, right? Now we're talking really here about exploring with the client their inner worlds, right? So seeing inside of the body of the client, right? And so before we do that, we need to connect the whole of the body of the client to the session, right? And so that means the head and the heart and the guts. And I often like to say, it's like we light up the whole Christmas tree. And tactically, we've got to do that before we ask the question about the valuable objectives the client would like to focus on, right? The whole body of the client has to be activated in the conversation before we ask, what would you like to choose as an objective for our session today, right? And you noticed when I asked Marissa about what could be a valuable objective for her, quite a bit of work had been done, and it was obvious that Marissa was, her whole body was mobilized in the work, right? And therefore the choice of the objective would be informed by the three brains of Marissa, the head, the heart, and the guts, yeah? Deep breathing always helps. And it, when I'm writing here, ignite mind, heart, guts dialogue. That's what I did when I invited Marissa after the first 2 minutes where she shared a number of ideas with me, but she was like this, right? And she was mostly communicating, in my perception, from her brain, right? The hands were moving a little bit, but not much. So I thought, I told Marissa, I have a sense that you expressed a lot with your brain, and I'm curious about what your heart or your gut would have to express about this. And Marissa, I see you turn on your video. Feel free to chime in if you'd like, right? Yeah.
No, actually, it's quite right, Jean-Francois. Now thinking back, because I was so of the moment that it just take me a few minutes now listen from you. But actually, I was very on the rational mind. Yes, on the rational, and you see, even you said now I remember you are using your left brain, right? And of course, asking to bring the heart. The breathing helped a lot. The breathing, for me, the breathing was like open the space to calm down the rational mind and open what we can't understand. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Marissa. The breathing calmed down the rational mind and then opened up what I don't understand. Yeah, beautiful. Wow. So deep. Thanks very much, Marisa. Now, there are very simple way to go deep into the client's body to get inner knowledge, right? And those are questions such as what's most important, which alters the level of thinking of the client, right? So, well, what is it about at a deeper level or at the deepest level, right? So that would be very easy, but it's cool to really talk about the heart of the gut. So I think it's the productivity of it is much higher. And then, of course, we want to listen to the body language, the tone, the emotions, the eye movements, and the energy shifts, and any incongruence between them. When we are going to make an invitation to the client for them to make sense of the energy or the emotions or the energy shift, so it's very important that we are very considerate and careful in our language. We don't want to just drop a perception to a client, right? We want to ask permission to do that, right? Because we are bringing an extrinsic element to the world of the client, so it's dangerous, right? Potentially, right? And if the client doesn't want it, then they are in charge, right? So ask the permission, and then be very tentative about what perception we're bringing in. Like I believe I sense a special energy shift in you when you say blah, blah, blah. Did you sense anything? I tried to be that considerate with Marisa once or twice when I offered a perception, right? And then if the client answers that, yeah, there was something, then we can go deep in the body, right? Where is it in your body? What could it be about? What color does it has? Perhaps what size, or what message does it have for you? What's the simplest form of the message, if that makes sense? You noticed when I asked Marisa for an objective, right? Like all of my clients, Marisa was very generous with her words, very inspired, and she said many, many, many things, right? And of course, I was not understanding anything, and I asked her to simplify, and then and it took a little bit of a while, right? And then Marisa firmed up what she really wanted to work on. And that is something that is really important. We're going to come back to it in a short while. Just before, I wanted to come back to Albert Einstein and his belief, his trust in intuition and inspirations, right? And the importance of unleashing our client's imagination and intuition in the most productive way. Of course, for that, we need language, not the kind of limited experiment we did today, right? And that's just in the language of the client, detecting the metaphors, right? And inviting the clients in the language of their metaphor, right? To explore what the metaphors carry as a message, right? And also invite clients to draw what they see and question the drawing in a clean language way. So I had said that in June already, when we had this first conversation. And now today I want to expand a bit, right? Say the client draws this in our session, right? So exploring the drawing in a clean language way means asking questions that are totally pure, that do not have any carry any risk to influence. For example, I'm not going to ask, tell me about that flower, because perhaps that is not a flower. And me saying it's a flower is going to totally collapse the dream of the client, right? Maybe it's a fan, right? Or it's a banner, an electric banner, not a flower, right? So we want to be careful. Tell me about that part of the drawing, right? tell me about these shapes here. Ah, they are children. Okay, they are children. Then I can say children going forward, but not before I'm told these shapes are children, right? And tell me about the distance between those two children, right? So that's beautiful work, right? But we want to go slow and be super, super careful with our language. Yeah, clean language, pure. And that really helps elicit the whole of our clients' inner knowledge and bring out the whole body into the conversation. Yeah. And then the last type of insight I wanted to offer and invite your insights on the same, right, is how to enable clients to simplify their thinking. I just alluded to that, and ensure they trigger solid progress in reality. So that's all very simple, right? It's asking people to summarize. Now, summarizing is very difficult, right? Simplifying is very difficult. Leonardo da Vinci said simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And Einstein, as you remember, of course, said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough, right? So you can invite your clients to take a deep breath and then invite them to summarize. I think I invited Marisa actually when I asked her to summarize in a short sentence what the objective would be to take a deep breath, right? And if the second time you are, if the first time you ask, right, the client actually is not yet very articulate and concise in what they say, then you can ask again, but because you're becoming quite insistent and muscular, right, put a huge smile on your face to keep the client relaxed enough, right? And then also, if clients are perhaps lost in their thinking or are stuck, I often ask them to stand up, take a few steps around the room, spin like I had the hunch to ask Marisa to do, and see what's the most important, or look for additional ideas. It always works. Always. It's kind of automatic. And myself, when I'm stuck with some piece of work I'm doing or a paper I'm writing, I will stand up and pop, I'll have a new idea, right? Okay, a cute way to ask for clients to summarize when they are being very complex or at least complicated, right? It's quite a lot for my small brain. So could you please simplify for me? Or even cuter, if you could teach, if you would teach this to a kid, what would you say? All right, very hard work. So we need to be cute when we ask it from the client. Yeah. And finally, back to Einstein, match the frequency of the energy, match the energy, the frequency of the energy of the reality you want, and you will get that reality, right? Projection of the energy, right? Typically, I ask 4 times, and with Marisa today, I asked 4 times, right? The energy the client need to reach their goal. Very, very powerful. And then, of course, if you feel at the end of the session that perhaps there is a mismatch between the ambition people have in terms of action they're going to take, right, and their energy level, then you can question that apparent mismatch, right? Also, if clients say, yeah, I want to do that, or even worse, perhaps I should do that, or I could, yeah, then of course nothing is going to happen, right? So then again, big smile, warmth, humor, and okay, I'm hearing I want to, I'm not hearing I will. So what is it going to be? Yeah, and that goes very well. Okay. Now, with this, I hope as we are about to jump into our Q&A with you all and Marisa, that I hope your insights from today and mine will inspire your coaching practice forever and enable quantum leaps in your sessions for your clients, right? And I wish to offer you all a little gift before our Q&A, right? And it's another metaphorical video about the dance of coaching, beautiful dance, grounded in trust and energy, mastery. Enjoy it, and then let's have a chat. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Marisa. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, David. Just before we have our chat, wanted to say 3rd of June, around the same time of the day, right? It's a Monday. We can start the week together if you wish to. I'd love to. I'll do a coaching demo. It will be the 45-minute format, right? For the summit of coaching.com. Very short, right? The demo will be very short. It's about another dimension we can enjoy when we coach, totally different from today. It's artistry, in fact, right? And it's super powerful in service of unleashing clients' greatness. I'll also offer some thoughts about our new description as coaches, expanded beyond Gen AI reach and fit for a complex and disrupted world. Insights for coaches to unleash their inner artists and enable clients to generate great new ways of thinking and of being, and practical tips for coaches to enhance their coaching impact with their own artistry and be an inspiration to their clients. I do hope you can join. Now let's enjoy the best time of our session and conversation together. David, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Thank you. And Jean-Francois, it was a soul nurturing and inspiring session. Thank you. And before we jump to Q&A, let me give a quick reminder to our participants. The survey is going to pop up on your screen as soon as the session ends. Please take a few seconds to fill that out, because that feedback is incredibly important. Everything's read, and in a lot of the things that you enjoy as part of the coaching.com summit are because of feedback we've received along the way. So let's take a couple of quick questions. So Julie and Lorena and Tammy all asked very similar versions of the same question. What happens when we're working with a client who's less talkative or less emotive, who's not as expressive as Marisa?
Yeah, thanks very much. Again, right, what I do today is not for anybody to replicate in a real session. There is no sanity in doing that exercise with clients. It's just for us, for our community, right? The hope is that we all magnify the power of our work with energy and emotions. In addition, and in parallel to the work with the words of the clients, right? So I will never do that with my clients. There is no sense, right? Now, if I would have, for our community, done a demo with someone who would perhaps be less expressive, then the start would have been slower, but then, and I would have gone, a bit gentler, right? Marisa was 100% in the game right away, right? so grateful for that, so generous of Marisa. Most people would not, right? But because it's in their interest to play 100%, right? If we take them at the right speed for them into that possibility of using their whole body for the work, it will work, right? It will just take more time to reach to that beautiful space where the whole body plays the game. I hope that helps. Yeah. But again, don't do that with your real clients, right? Yeah, no point. Absolutely no point. It's just an exercise for our community. Yeah.
So Jinhua wants a more practical question. What training can be done to improve our awareness of our client's energy?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody knows, please come in and help out. I've not taken any training, right? It's just years and years of practice. And I don't know. Anybody? Okay. So what can I say? Well, I'd say if I say start with having your clients breathe, right? Deep. Every time they connect the three brains, right, of their body, and they come up stronger and more aligned and more connected, so that you can do. No need to take a training, right? Just make them breathe, right? And then ask the simple question: what would your heart add to what you just said? What your gut feel about this situation? So very simple, right? And if you look deep within yourself, what is there? What is there that perhaps can inform your reflections, right? Simple stuff like that. Perhaps in the chat box, someone has recommended already some training on energy and coaching. I'm sure there must be, right? Sorry to disappoint. Yeah?
Right. Vinod asked a question. What do you do, Jean-Francois, your own personal practices to raise your energy and awareness levels as a prep for your coaching sessions?
Okay. Love, right? Love. I know I'm going to have an hour of love, right? I don't need to prep. It's so embedded, right? Warm, and then and once we are in the groove, right? After a minute, right, of meet and greet, right, and the clients has cleansed themselves, right? They have kind of purified their brain. They are fully present, right? Then I calm myself down. I'm that still lake, right? And then I play I bring myself, my whole self, right, with humility and vulnerability, like today, yeah, like every time, yeah. That's all, right? But it's love. It's love, right? Love for the potential greatness of the client, right? We just have to look for it. Sometimes it's hard to find, but it's always there, right? And that expectation brings the energy of love that I feel is needed to have clients really feel valued and feel ready to basically get naked, right? And do the work, right? I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
It's beautiful how embedded that is for you. And I can see coaches that are on the earlier arc looking at how to channel that in themselves. And actually, Terry asked something along those lines. What would you suggest for the coach to learn the artistry you demonstrated in your coaching?
Oh, yeah. Well, that will be June the 3rd, right, Terry? June the 3rd, right? And I don't know yet what I will say, Terry. I will have to study, right? I have a mess of ideas, but it's not beautiful for now, right? But I will hope, because it's what I declared I will do, right? I will do it, right? I will hope to contribute some insights about how we can unleash more of our inner artists so that the clients unleash more of their inner artist. And it critically matters now because certainly your clients are just like mine. At the end of 2023, they were exhausted, right? So this disrupted, complex world is exhausting them. It's going to be the same this year, of course, and they are they are absolutely unable to reimagine or imagine a new way of thinking and of being to thrive above the chaos. And I believe that that's where liberating their artistry and coaching them artistically can help them, right? Reinvent how they are and how they think, and therefore be at their best to thrive in a very difficult world, right? 3rd of June. Yeah, thanks, Terry, for the question.
Can't wait to hear what you're going to say then. And for now, again, Jean-Francois, as always, thank you for an incredible session and a demo. Marisa, thank you as well for playing along. And we look forward to seeing you all next time.